So sometimes it's helping them like release and feel this amazing positive emotion. And as that floods their entire body, by goes the trauma, hello comes the energy. Welcome back to another Corey Boutwell podcast, and today I'm going to teach you how to stop being tired as hell. And I don't know about you guys, but there's one thing around gaining energy and the other one of basically not feeling tired. And I used to be the most tired person ever, from like the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. Especially when I was studying at uni, it was crazy. I would nap for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the day. And then I would drive home and I'd get to the gym. And then I would nap for an hour in my car before going in and training. Every day I'd get there and I'd be like this, fuck. And some days I'd be able to train straight away and have to like force myself to get up and be so tired while I'm moving my body. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Throughout this process, I was like, I was like, what the hell? There's something wrong with me here. And I actually thought that amount of being tired was normal. Like I legitimately thought that, I'm just gonna check these 2 seconds, bang, bang. I legitimately thought that was normal. Definitely not normal, right? Because the worst part is I was ignorant to the fact about how much greener the grass is on the other side when you have epic amounts of energy and have an abundance of energy. Now I'm an energetic person. That doesn't mean I have a lot of energy. So I've got like a lot, high energy when I'm using it. However, like the period of time when I would use like energy and I'd be like energetic around people and then I'd crash immediately. And there's like a photo that I have on my computer that you guys won't be able to see, but there's a photo of me at uni just like sleeping in the middle of the day. And that was a perfect depiction of me sleeping for like 2 hours in the middle of the day. And this was not a recharge nap. This wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go have a nap and try to recharge right now. This was not a recharge nap. And yes, let's go Bruno, what's up? But it wasn't a recharge nap at all. This was, I'm exhausted and I have to nap so that I can try to get my energy back. And did I get it back? No, I just felt groggy as hell after and I was like ruined for the rest of the day. And I was like, man, my whole life has basically just evolved around sleeping. And the scary part is I could have stayed there. I could have stayed being that tired as hell person that like couldn't do anything. So yeah, and when you are that tired, it caps your potential. And I could have ended up like every 40-plus-year-old who thinks that their energy is normal. When in the middle of the day, they need a nap, they get home from work, they nap for 2 hours, they need to smoke durries all day, have, coffees all day, they need to be doing everything under the sun just to try to get their energy up and it's not working. I need to have like 10 coffees, I need to have this amount of energy drinks, I need to have pre-work, I need to take all of this supplements which just cook your insides to try to get a little bit of energy back just so that I don't feel tired. And this is a hack, by the way. So if you guys know caffeine and the science behind caffeine, it doesn't give you energy. It just blocks adenosine, which is the chemical that makes you feel tired. So it just blocks. So what happens is when you have caffeine and you feel a kick from it and you go, oh, that's energy coming. It's just showing you how tired you really are. So the more of a kick that you like get from caffeine, essentially, it's like, wow, I'm really tired. And when you need caffeine and you know that you just feel normal because your low rate of feeling like so low is dangerous. You don't want to get to that stage. You should have caffeine and feel like, holy shit, from a small amount of caffeine, you should feel a kick from it. So I'm going to teach you practical tools to remove your tiredness, right? I'm going to teach you practical tools in this episode because if you don't, you could end up settling for less in life. You could be making way less money because you've got less energy to do so. You sabotage your success because you can't handle it because you're so tired. It'll make you, you could end up being less disciplined. You could end up struggling to exercise due to inflammation and poor health, right? No one wants that. And I completely turned all this around by studying bodybuilding and metaphysics. And I hacked the system to get all my energy back. It's incredible. And now I've basically sustained energy every single day. And I know exactly how to manage my tiredness. I have strong boundaries, I'm firm around it, and I have sustaining energy every single day. It's absolutely wild. And the second that I'm like down, I know exactly what to do to get back up. I'm going to teach you that. And in the book, The Untethered Soul, it teaches you essentially where energy comes from. Because I'm going to ask you this question and I want you to think about it, right? The first question I want to ask is, where does energy come from? And I want you to think, okay, where does that energy actually come from? And try to answer this question. And I know that a lot of people who are in this situation will start thinking like this, food? Is it from maybe sunlight? Surely it's nutrients, ATP, something like that. You're not wrong, but you're not 100% correct. In the book, it kind of shows that the answer is It's definitely not food. Because what happens when you eat a really big meal? What happens when you eat the biggest meal? Big steak, massive bowl of veggies, heaps of rice, heaps of bread. You go out for dinner, get a massive bowl of pasta and just stuff your face, all you can eat buffet. What happens after that? You want to go to sleep, right? So eating doesn't give you energy. And it's crazy because it's like, oh, well, food and nutrients give you energy, right? Kind of, but not really. Because after you eat a big meal, you get tired as hell. And when you fast and you do fasting correctly and you have the right amount of minerals in your body, you notice that you have way more energy and you can think a lot more clearer. So what does it? What gives you energy? It's your mitochondria, the little tiny things in your DNA that create energy. They turn it on, they go, boop, here's the energy. So it's not just nutrients, it's mood that affects your energy. So I like to use this example all the time, and it's like, okay, when you're a kid, I'm speaking to men here, there's women as well, but remember when you were younger and you were texting someone that you loved or you wanted to date, right? You're like, oh, flirting and dating. And you might have been in your teenage years and you really want to catch up with them. And then they go, hey, I'm free tonight, you want to catch up? And you're like in bed, watching a movie, just chilling. Next minute, you're jumping out of bed, you've got the best clothes on, you're smelling really nice, and you're on your way to their house. Like, wow, I can't believe I get to hang out with this person, it's fantastic, right? Where did that energy come from? You're about to go to sleep. And now you're super excited. Imagine if you wanted so bad to close a deal in business that was going to be $100 million and you closed it. Wow, right? That happened. Let's say you got the text message at night when you're about to fall asleep. You'd be like, oh my God, I closed the deal, right? You'd be so excited. Or yeah, any of those. You'd leave your skin with excitement and you'd jump up and down like screaming with joy. Yeah, 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 yeah. So your mitochondria has taken signals from your brain and created energy to make you feel and move. It's the same sort of thing of, let's say, you woke up and you realized that the house was flooding. You'd be like, oh my God, boom, getting out of bed. Your mitochondria is like, shit, this being needs energy right now, summon it to go crush it. So everything that we do sends signals to our mitochondria and the energy that essentially we don't want to be tired and we need more energy. And it's sort of like thinking about, if I don't want to be tired and I want to be the most energetic person I can, what's the environment situation that I have to set up for myself so that I do have that energy? And what's the work most commonly that we do on ourselves to understand our purpose, to give us the motivation, to know our fears, to know our strongest desires that we feel committed to, so that we can have the energy to go and get them? Because in the second we get a trigger that prevents us some way, some form, that shuts us down to think that we can't do it, our mitochondria gets shut off. Which is why personal growth, personal development is so important. It literally gives you energy. And sometimes facing the shit's difficult, right? Because sometimes you might have some trauma, or there might be some pain that you've experienced that you don't want to get over, like a heartbreak, or you were abused as a kid somehow, or you were never accepted or felt validated as a child. You didn't have a good relationship with your parents, and now you want to get to the next level, but you can't, because every time you try to get to whatever the next level is, your brain shuts off everything as a fear of safety, because if you do it, it means you're going to get judged, you're going to get criticized, you're going to get hurt, you're going to feel pain, you're going to feel scared. So it's like, nope, nope, nope. So that way, it's always shutting down your energy from doing something big, which prevents you from getting to the next level. Whoa, and your mitochondria know this, right? And there are studies for this, like multiple studies. There are so many studies that prove this. So I'm going to give you some rules to follow, right? Because one of the biggest things that helped me get my energy back was understanding my purpose and how I can give and be of service to people, right? That really helped. So the first guidelines I'm going to give you are all about changing your internal state and how to use your environment to turn your mitochondria on. And then I'm going to give you a second round of guidelines, which is physical guidelines that essentially I studied till the cows come home, which help give me ultimate energy. So it's not just, because sometimes I'll know that like, oh, my internal state is firing right now, I feel so passionate, so purpose, but I'm genuinely exhausted because of X, Y, Z reasons. Cool, I'm gonna go work on the physical ones. Sometimes like, man, I'm doing all this physical stuff, right, but I'm still so tired, I'm not motivated, I can't be bothered doing anything, and like I hate my life. I'm like, cool, I need to work on these internal ones. So you're consistently working on these as a reminder, because it's easy for them to fall off and like slip off. But when you're working on them and you're working on yourself and they come back, next minute you have unlimited energy, like unlimited. Like if we think about like the universe and ourselves as conductors for the universe, we channel the universe's energy to create, right? We're creative beings, we can create whatever we want, we're only limited by our ideas and the actions that we take around them, which is absolutely incredible to think about. So let's get into the internal state guidelines. Number one, do the work to find your purpose, or as Joseph Campbell calls, your bliss. When a person truly lands on their purpose, it removes distractions, right? So this is awesome. So all your energy isn't wasted on pointless thoughts and ideas, and your energy gets focused on helping you live and see your purpose come to fruition. What's really interesting is when you understand your purpose, you understand the career you're moving down, you understand the hierarchies that you want to climb, and you're only clear on those, and that's it. And your focus doesn't get distracted on everything else. You have more energy because you're conserving energy. The more times that you're thinking of new ideas for different things, in particular, your energy drops because it takes so much energy to think of those. But if you have one thing and you go in one direction and all your energy is focused on that, it brings you more energy because you start seeing results, and those results fuel you up. So interesting. Number 2, write down your goals clearly. Write why for each goal, it's like why they're important to you and why you want them, and create milestones for each achievement. This is just, again, getting you more clear on the focus, your purpose, and the goals that are around them. You start focusing on those goals and progressing towards them. Hello, hallelujah. You're going to start to have more energy. There's legitimate studies around this, having your goals down, because you're moving again in the right direction. Number 3, cultivate a positive outlook in your mindset by training your mind to be grateful and optimistic. Genuinely training your mind. Like, what does that actually look like? It looks like journaling. It looks like having conversations. It looks like committing to self-talk for yourself. Understanding when your brain says something negative, when you say something imposter syndrome, when you say something people-pleasing or your tall poppy syndrome, and learning new language skills to speak out loud to not bring your energy down. So like, one thing my friend called me out on was, I was just like, I would say all the time, like, someone do something amazing for me and I have like a mind-blowing moment. I'm like, bro, you just fucked me up. And I like to say it like, you just fucked me up in the best way possible. However, it's still insinuating that I'm fucked up. So change that language to, you just changed my life, to someone. And then that feels so much more positive, and it's so much more lighter, and it's so much more invigorating. So just noticing those really small things about how you talk and how you communicate signals your self-worth and the belief you have about yourself. And if you want to change it, change your language. You change your language, you change your beliefs. Insane. I truly believe in that. 4, emotional fitness. Learn to process your emotions and manage them effectively through mindset, releasing trauma, journaling, and coaching. So what's extremely important, what I mentioned beforehand, is trauma will prevent you from having all the energy in the world in regards to your internal state. And when you're growing in general, like you're growing in business, you're growing in relationships, at every new stage of the journey that you're making progress, you're going to meet a hurdle. And that hurdle is usually some form of trauma. Now, trauma can affect how you talk to yourself, how we just mentioned beforehand. Trauma can also make you avoid. It changes your body language. It changes your nervous system. You can still say the right stuff. You can still even do the right things. But if your energy is off with them, it makes it difficult. It's more challenging, and it doesn't come effortlessly. And you're putting in so much effort that you're basically fighting fear and your brain and not doing the work to integrate it can drain your energy. But you want to be moving forward and going down that direction. So how do we get our energy back? It's doing healing. It's doing healing processes. Like, we do it and set the standard with men quite regularly. We come help them talk about their traumas and like actually release them, like on group calls, and we have exercises for people to stare at their traumas and move through them. What is a really good way of removing your trauma? Breath work is getting coaching, hypnotherapy, speaking to people. It's committing to your own spirituality, essentially, and understanding yourself and getting clearer on all the negative emotions and positive emotions you feel. Because a part of spirituality in your own trauma is like, sometimes people are so afraid to feel joy. They're afraid to feel passion. They're afraid to feel fear. They're afraid to feel cheer. They're afraid to feel pride, because that used to be dangerous for them. So sometimes it's helping them like release and feel this amazing positive emotion. And as that floods their entire body, by goes the trauma, hello comes the energy. So absolutely amazing. Next one, align your values. When you're true to your word, do what you say you're going to do, and stay committed to your boundaries, your sense of self-confidence and energy increases. Yes, every time that you do something you say that you're going to do, if you know who you want to be and who you are, and you're living aligned with the actions that you're taking, you get energy. The second that you aren't, you get down on yourself, and that's when you lose your energy. And you have to have boundaries in place around the people that you love and people around you in general to make sure that you're living towards that. Because if you're not and you're self-sacrificing, your energy is going to drain. This is what is meant in Christianity when they use the term sin. I believe sin is so real, and it manifests in just feeling shit about yourself, in feeling regret and feeling embarrassment and feeling demotivated because you're not living aligned with your true self. You're not living in truth and the truth that you believe. And truth has levels. So you can say something that has some form of truth, just like, I get down on myself sometimes. But the truth might be that I have this insecurity of feeling joy and being celebrated from my friends because, you know, I used to get abused as a kid. Whatever the thing is, I don't know, right? But being able to get clearer and more articulate on your truths are extremely important, and same with your values. And the clearer and the more you know about yourself and the more self-awareness that you have, the easier it is to live aligned, which is why personal work is so critically important and why we teach you to set the standard. Next one, increase your nervous system's capacity. Put yourself in personal growth environments and situations where you have to use teamwork, leadership, communication skills to learn new skills and grow. And then receive direct feedback, because direct feedback from this gives you a sense of progress and achievement. Extremely important. So this is essentially doing like going to retreats, going to workshops, going to seminars, like whatever it is, because that is when you get put to the test. You can do the theory, you can do the work, you can do the programs, you can listen to the podcast, listen to whatever it is, but then you rock up to a place with a bunch of people that get you to do an exercise, and next minute you're like, oh, I can't do this, right? And that's because you know what's up rationally and logically, but emotionally, your body has no idea. And until you go into that setting, which is like going to the gym for your own emotional capacity, you have less capacity to handle the energy that you want to give to the world. So for example, for me, when I would get up and speak in front of people, I used to get like real nervous and worried about what people think. And I have been to the point where in my retreats, I have like the whole room of people just projecting on me. I get to a point where I get like everyone like frustrated intentionally. And then we have this massive releasing process, which is absolutely amazing, helps people get to the next level. But if I had to try and hold that space like 4 years ago, that'd be impossible for me. I would be so worried, freaked out what everyone's thinking. I think about doing the worst job, I'm not good enough, all of this shit. But because I've been doing a lot of work, I've put myself in those situations and scenarios, my capacity has grown. Therefore, I can maintain energy even when other people are doubting, even when other people's energy is trying to rub off against me. But it's like, no, I won't let it, because I've increased my capacity. Extremely important to do. If you're a high performer, that is absolutely essential. And you're a hard worker and you like work your ass off doing that, unreal. Next one, cut emotional ties with your parents. This is so important. Have conversations and implement boundaries with your parents to ensure that you really have left the nest. Don't stand for any attempts to treat you like a child. This kills your energy supply and independence. By the way, all of this is like referenced. All right. So what happens is if you still, you know, you have this own life and you think it's like real awesome, you do whatever, then you go back and talk to your parents and you immediately feel like you're the child, they're telling you what to do, you know, you're not good enough and all these things come back in. Is that is preventing you from being your own person, and there's still ties there. And those emotional ties that you have, without being able to cut them off by implementing your boundaries and just having the conversation, like, I'm an adult now and you can't tell me this and you can't tell me that. These are how you talk to me. I don't want you to speak to me like this way or give me recommendations. I only want you to do that when I ask. We have a different relationship now because I'm not your child. I'm a fully grown adult and I want you to respect that. And if you don't, I'm going to distance myself. And when you do respect it, I'm going to come closer to you. Parents take that so well, by the way. Initially, they're like, oh, and then they're like, yes, my child has gone and left the nest. And being able to have that conversation and set those boundaries frees you up with so much more space to give and serve to other people. And we help people have these conversations all the time. And there's proof in the pudding of how many people that I've worked with who have done this, who have just gone and like taken everything in their business and their life and their relationships to the next level. Way more money, you know, getting married, all the rest of it, just because they cut ties with their parents. Insane. And it's emotional ties, right? It's not general ties, because you want to love your parents. It helps. It's like, it's the next evolution. And I say it's cut emotional ties, but it's literally evolving your relationship with your parents to something so much better. It's so fantastic. Like my dad literally rings me up and asks me questions about life now. And I coach him back and forth and give him like the best advice. And he's like, oh, this is amazing. I wish I learned this when I was younger. Like, and just being able to do that as a son and provide for him is like absolutely insane. It makes me feel like a boss. It makes me feel like a leader. It makes me feel like I could be a better father myself. Next one, be invested in romance. Go on dates. If you're single, go on dates if you're in a relationship. Anything that increases intimacy is a surge of energy that your body and brain love. So your commitment to intimacy and romance is extremely important to fulfill you up with energy. Follow this, your energy stores will completely skyrocket, and yeah, go crush that. So now here are my physical guidelines, right? So that's it for the internal state. That's when they help you shift and bring you more energy in general. If you're tired, just like throughout the day, those reasons are the first reasons as to why. Work on those first and commit to them. Know that it might take a little while, but your dedication to that, so critically important. Yeah, obviously, if you want to work on that too, you can just listen to more of my podcasts. So you can go back and anything on shame and guilt, whatever it is, you can listen to that, and that'll help you release everything, or goal setting and purpose, all of that. Listen to my podcast and that'll help you crush it. So here are my physical guidelines, right? So this is your biological guidelines that I think are so critically important to get to the next level. So, warning, trigger warning, when you start using these techniques and skills, you will have so much energy and focus you won't know what to do with it. just straight up. I've cultivated all of these over the last 12 years, so they will not disappoint you. And I'm going to the extremes. I want to preface this, that I'm going to the extreme with these guidelines, so take them with a grain of salt, right? I'm just going to say, do this, do this, do this. You do what you feel is good for you, right? I don't stick to these standards all year round. I cycle in and out at different periods, at different times for what I need, for my routine that's going to give me the most amount of energy. So use what calls to you and notice how that your energy will literally tenfold. So here we go. I'm just listing these out. These are fantastic. Eat 4 digestive enzymes before going to bed. Drink 1 teaspoon of Celtic salt and lemon juice with 1 liter in the morning upon waking up. Eat as many antioxidants as you can. Chances are we are not getting enough. Average person, nowhere near enough antioxidants. And there are some studies that are like, don't eat too much because it's like insane. I disagree, because the amount of antioxidants that we would have to try to eat to get there is absolutely incredible. So dedicate yourself that every time you eat, you're eating a healthy dose of antioxidants. If you don't know where to get it, dark chocolate, 80% or above, purple cabbage, blueberries. Now, if you're thinking from a macro and a weight loss perspective, like dark chocolate, you know what I mean? It's high in fat. There's a lot of calories in that. So you make sure that you're eating it for the antioxidant perspective, not for yum and taste perspective, and not for any fulfilling perspective. You treat it like a supplement. Purple cabbage, blueberries. Those absolutely fantastic to add into your diet. Like anything that's got strong colors. Astaxanthin is the world's best antioxidant, spelled Astaxanthin. Krill oil has high amounts of astaxanthin and omega-3, so it's a really awesome supplement. Your body accumulates sleep debt. This is real. So for every minute or hour of sleep you miss, your body will build up a debt and eventually make you sick to get your sleep back. Drink 5 liters of water a day if you're someone who exercises. If you're someone who exercises and walks regularly, you lose a lot of hydration, so you need to get that back up again. The more cardio fit and muscular you are, the greater your body's capacity for energy is. Buy an Oura ring to track your sleep. Ejaculate the least amount of times as possible. Always. Save your sex energy. That means no masturbation, and that means semen retention during sex. If you need any tips on that, I've got heaps of podcasts. I've gone God mode at it. Where were we? Don't eat for the first 2 hours of being awake. Don't eat 3.5 hours before sleep. Digestion kills your sleep quality. You lose 1.5 hours of sleep every single night, roughly, on average. So I have found 7.5 hours of sleep to be the sweet spot. So you need an average of 9 hours laying in bed with no phone, of like trying to sleep on average to get your 7.5 hours sleep. Some people are more efficient than others aren't. Chances are you're not. Like there's very rarely that I met people that don't have that. And if you're training and you're a high performing like business owner, those 9 hours are critically important. And if you track your sleep and you realize that, oh, if I lay in bed for 8 hours sleep and I get 7.5 hours or whatever it is, that's the only way that you can get out of it from me, or I have no excuses. You want to lay in bed for sleep for 9 hours, otherwise track it on an Oura ring, and you may only need to lay in bed for 7 hours and 45 minutes to get your 7.5 hours sleep. Who knows? But on average, not. And for all the people around us, like pretty much 10 people, I would say 8 of the people need to be laying in bed for 9 hours. Sorry, people who don't like sleep. Limit your screen time. Be on your phone with intention only. Only get on there with the intention, not just to have a look around. Use all the features for screen time restrictions, light dim notifications on your phone. Optimize it. Always take high quality magnesium and omega-3 supplement. They're the highest quality by far. Like most important, if you want to take any supplements, high quality magnesium and an omega-3. Medicinal mushrooms work. Smash them if you have the funds. Medicinal mushrooms are elite. They actually work. Matcha is vastly superior to coffee. Lose the milk for better benefits. Eat a higher fat-based diet. This doesn't mean no carbs. You still want carbs. You just want to prioritize your fats over carbs. I know people say the most thing for tracking your calories is get your protein in first, is the rule, then carbs and fats. So you want to, and then fill in the rest of your macros with fats. Change it around. What is the amount of protein that you need? Make sure you hit that, and then hit your fat goal, which is most important to you, and then fill the rest in with carbs. That is the way to do it for sure, especially for optimal performance and energy. Buy a large drink bottle. and use filtered water, because if you're having to count your bottles and using different bottles all the time, it's way less efficient and you won't hit your water goals. Don't use supplements or drinks that have vitamin Bs in them. All synthetic B vitamins are trash, pure trash. So I look at back of an energy drink, or well, I don't drink energy drinks, but a hydration drink, and if it's got B vitamins, I go, oh, put that in the bin, not drinking that. Do not eat seed oils ever. Walking after dinner before bed supercharges your sleep quality. Insane. When you need a nap, set a timer for 12 minutes. Wild caught Atlantic salmon and blueberries are a masterpiece meal for energy. If you wake up in the middle of the night, play as many meditations as it takes to get back to sleep. If you can't sleep, just meditate. Bone broth goo heals your stomach and your brain. Alpha GPC and uridine are great supplements for brain juice. Nicotine is a better replacement for coffee. This is nicotine mints. Coffee is best consumed at a half a shot and at 1 shot maximum per day only. 10,000 steps a day is essential for overall health and lymphatic drainage, meaning it gets rid of all the bad shit and it uses like an antioxidant process so that you can get rid of toxins that make you feel tired and make you feel better. And minimum of an hour sunlight per day on your skin. No sunscreen. I stick to these as best as I can for as long as I can at all times. Like I'm always trying to stick to these, and I've essentially cured my tiredness. Now when I get tired or lethargic, I look at each of these that I'm not doing. I think to myself, oh, have I done, like what do I need to do in like the metaphysical realm, in my internal state? Do I need to shift that, or do I just need to, get back on track with, my energy? One thing that I think is really important is ordering track this, but understanding your chronotype, which is, are you an early morning person, mid-morning person, normal morning person? Are you an afternoon person? Are you a night person? Whatever it is. Figuring out for me, I'm an early morning person, like super early morning type. And that's only like 10% of people actually have that chronotype. So for me, my best time that I should be going to bed is like being asleep at 8 o'clock and waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I go to bed really early. So people will be like, oh, you get up early, you get up really early to do work, or you should get up early to do work. It's like, yeah, but I'm going to bed so early. Like I'm in bed at 7:30, you know what I mean? Like I'm in bed so early to try to wake up at that time, but that's because it suits my chronotype. If I was a nighttime person, I'd do the opposite. I'd stay in till 9, I'd work till 11, whatever it is, and then go to bed then. But I'd make sure that I still have my 9 hours in bed. So it's extremely important knowing that. I think that's an absolute hack as well. But then when I'm tired and I'm not doing any of these, I get my energy back. I'm back to business. I start working everything. My energy comes back. And the better you get at it and the more aware that you become of your own energy, the better you start performing, and you can keep it over a consistent period of time. And then you watch your energy skyrocket. I remember talking to a bodybuilding coach of mine. And I was like, man, I'm eating this. And I'm like, I feel off, way more off than I usually would. And he's like, are you feeling off or are you just more aware? And I was like, I am for sure just way more aware of my energy levels and where I'm at. He's like, good, that's awareness. Use that as a skill. And I was like, sick. That's it. If you like this podcast, give it a follow, please. Share it with a friend or someone that you love who would need this. And if you want to come and join Set the Standard and absolutely crush it, come join the community, send me a DM on Instagram and I'll have a chat with you and we can get started. Other than that, use this knowledge all to the best of your ability, and I'll see you into the next one. Guys, let's go.